Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by Think Geek and the Craft Beer Club. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 365. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
And joining us later from the news desk will be Tiffany Electrify Nolan, and super producer Hitman will be showing up various points throughout the show, and especially in the after show. So what's going on, Jay? It's been over a month since we've had a show. It's fucked up.
Yeah, we almost didn't have one tonight as well. But yeah, now it's been a really long time. I forgot how to do this.
It'll come back to you. It's like riding a bike.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Especially where Tiff reads the news, you're kind of.
Yeah, I'm on cruise control, baby. I'm on cruise control. Just feed me my lines. I'm like a puppet now.
But it is good to be back. It has been far too long, and for those of you that don't know what Jay was referring to there, for some reason, Twitch is not accepting new streaming tonight. So we're broadcasting for one person on Mixer this evening. So if you want to see the video version of this, you'll have to check it out on YouTube. It will not be in the Twitch archives, but as we know, most of you listen anyway. So that is our listener base, and the audio version will still be there for you. So I guess we'll just jump right into feedback from last week's show, or maybe I should call it last month's show. And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Vixen92 comments. It's ironic that in the part of the year that I find myself in the car for extended periods where a podcast would be perfect to listen to, you guys have mismatched vacations and there are no shows. Still love you guys, though.
Well, it's not irony when it happens as much as it's happened lately, right? Like at this point, there's so many breaks in the summer that at any given time, you will likely not be hearing us, unfortunately.
The odds of us all having the same vacation are slim and none.
Yeah. Like I think I have vacation. Well, I'm going on a business trip next week. So again, I will not be around. And it's like the whole summer is just like the upshot is summer is coming to an end. And with that, too, is we're going to actually have more video games to talk about, which is another thing the summer doesn't really bring us. There's a lot to discuss. So even though we're off for as long as we are, I feel like it's a good thing because, honestly, the news is like it's all about the stuff that's going to happen. There's nothing that's actually happening right now. So
this is true. But, who knows? Yeah. Maybe next week we'll convince Tiff and Hit to do a show and we'll be good to go.
Good luck.
I know Tiff loves riding solo with me.
Loves it.
Yep.
Loves it.
It's her favorite.
She's been trying to get me off the show for years.
Yep.
And
she loves idle banter off the hip. That's her thing.
She doesn't
my
like
chance. I'm taking over.
Finally.
Oh. All right. Well, thank you for that comment, Vixen92. And Karma Fool comments. I'm probably one of your biggest podcast fans. Would you ever consider doing a special month where you put out 2 episodes a week?
No. Next question.
We can't even get one. Oh, but that's pretty rich though, Karma Fool. I just can't see how that's even possible. Maybe some September, some year.
No.
If we've been on a roll and we're like, oh yeah, we could do 2. But even if we did 2, they would probably have to be 2 the same night. Like the only way you would ever do,
and I was going to say the only way you could ever do that show, which would be fine. I mean, like the Twitch thing usually gives us more problems than it does help us. Is you would record like 3 or 4 shows in one night, and then you would still do Twitch, but you would just stream that as if it was live, even though it's pre-recorded, which is kind of boring for a lot of people, unfortunately, because they can't interact. But to be fair, our show structure does not really allow for any interaction whatsoever. People are just listening to us. Every now and again, we'll say like, hey, there's a guy in chat. Yay. But we don't really do anything interactive with chat. So
that's true.
That would be the only way would be to pre-record a bunch of shows and then put them out, which I almost would be down with because the upshot to that is then it frees up your, it takes us a lot of time to do the show. But once you're in the rhythm of doing the show, then it's actually like easy and it flows quickly and
Yep.
So that might even be a better case scenario. But then you don't get the news.
Yeah, that's true. We would have
on
to
the day, so it's a little weird.
It would be weird. I don't know. All I know is there's definitely no chance of us doing two live shows a week.
No.
All right. And last but not least, Putin's Tootin comments. I'm still new to your show, but I had to write and say how much I love the dynamic. You keep it very professional while keeping it fun at the same time. Glad that I found you.
Appreciate that.
I feel like we do have a pretty good dynamic, I guess.
I think so.
Yeah.
Can I say right now, though, this FTL thing, I'm loving it. I want to say that this fucking, I know that, I mean, I'm not supposed to say this since we're on Twitch most of the time, but man, the FTL thing's really awesome.
I know, it's pretty cool, right?
Instantaneous.
Yes, it's absolutely instant. Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
Bananas.
Yeah, there's no lag at all. No.
But I do appreciate being called professional in this case, because we're not. But I do appreciate that.
Yeah, we masquerade as professionals in our spare time. So, all right. Well, if any of you have awesome feedback like these guys, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooledplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Joel, Dude I Rock, Albert, what have you been playing this week?
Player Unknown Battlegrounds.
PUBG.
24 hours a day.
Nice.
With Hitman.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. Me, Hit, LB, and Hop. And some Budman in there for funsies. We do some squad play. We do some duos. We do some... I don't really like solos. I think that's total shit. But the rest of the game is actually really well done. If a AAA company took that concept and actually built the game and just copied what he's doing currently, I think they'd make $1 bajillion. Because they've already made $1 bajillion and it's early access. I think they've sold over $100 million worth of that.
Oh, I know.
Game.
It's absolutely insane.
It's bananas. It's absolutely bananas.
Yeah, I'm planning on picking it up this week. I was waiting until after we got back from vacation, but
for $30,
I love that style of game, and just everybody that I know is playing it, and everything I've watched, it's just good time. So
yeah, it's super buggy. You'll be frustrated enough where you'll break your computer or just scream or yell or kick the fucking cat. But
that's how I felt about the culling. That's how I felt about fucking H1Z1. They all have their own issues.
It's worse than that. But hits messaging and chats. Definitely worse than that. But the gameplay is better. So it does everything better than H1Z1, but it's definitely more buggy, which is a weird mix. But it does everything right. Like the core concept that he's put forth is the correct one, if you will. But it's hard to get through all the early access bugs and shit. Just, you know. But it's $30, and you will. I've already got my money out of it. I don't care if I stopped now, I would have milked every cent out of that. So
nice. Yeah, I'm definitely picking that up this week. So
do it. We'll play. Awesome. What are you doing?
Well, I was on vacation, so I didn't really play anything. Just before vacation, I was playing Overwatch, and during vacation, and now I've just been playing Pokemon Go. That's about it. So this week, I'm gonna get back into everything. Gonna do some more Overwatch. Gonna pick up PUBG, play that. There's something else that I was going to pick up this week too that I can't think of now, but no, what just came? Oh, Lawbreakers.
Oh, Lawbreakers.
It came out while I was on vacation.
Out for real.
Yep. So I'm going to pick that up.
The game sucks, man. I just don't get it.
I know
like why you like it. You already have Overwatch, which is a better game, which is the same game, but better.
I don't know. It's a different game. I like the anti-gravity stuff and all that.
Yeah, I mean their abilities are different. I think that's I'm probably oversimplifying how.
You're just a smidge, yes.
Well, but I don't think that much. I mean, it's a class-based shooter. Ultimately, that's what Overwatch is. It's a class-based shooter. But I mean, it's decent as a class-based shooter, but it's never going to have the following I think that Overwatch has.
And that's why they set the price at $30.
Yeah, at $30. Yeah, and for $30, I think that's a pretty decent deal for a game like Lawbreakers. It's sad that they didn't have the development time to get it to all consoles. I think that would have probably helped them. But yeah.
But plus also they ended up having to split the way that I guess if you look at Overwatch, for example, 2 basic game types. That's it. Now you go look at Lawbreakers, 2 entirely different multiplayer game types with the batteries and the charging them and putting them in the holder and then guarding it and taking. So you figure you pick up both those games for $60 and now you have an entire game's worth of game types, because Overwatch is, like, as much as I love Overwatch, it's really limited in the game types that you get.
Totally.
And on the flip side, Lawbreakers also fairly limited in the game types, but they're unique as well. So I don't know. I may pick that up this week too, but definitely PUBG.
Yeah, give it a shot. We'll play some games. I'd like to gauge your frustration, see how pissed you get within the first hour and a half, and then choose to never play it again.
Okay, that's how I felt with the call. And I took like a 2-month break after first 2 games. But
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Yes, yeah. It gets brutal. But all right. Well, I guess on that, why don't we hop on over to the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it is Agents of Mayhem. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. This is the new third-person action-adventure shooter from Deep Silver, the makers of Saints Row, for those of you that are unfamiliar. The game is set in a futuristic version of Seoul, South Korea. You choose 3 different agents from a pool of 12 different agents to complete missions in the game. Each of those agents has unique skills, unique abilities. They all have different play styles, and some have different benefits to different types of missions, and others are more beneficial to other types of missions. In addition to the campaign and all those missions, there's also some unlock missions that you can play through to unlock new characters, as well as what they call personal missions, which are missions that end up helping you learn the backstory of a different agent that you may have already unlocked. Tiff and I saw this game 2 years ago at E3, and it looked and played fantastic then. And if you're looking for a single player game, like these are the kind of things that people like. We don't often think about because we all like multiplayer games. But if someone's looking for like a quality single player game that has great graphics, good gameplay, kind of a different spin on things, this is one of those games. Like if I was that kind of person, I would definitely pick this up. But
yeah, it's not well. 2 things. I mean, so the first thing for me is that there's been zero press about this game. Like, and when I say zero, I don't mean literally, but it's I don't see anything about it anywhere. The fact that it was like coming out today, I was actually surprised because I didn't even know it was even coming out today.
Well, Deep Silver doesn't have the same budget as
no,
like
they
a
don't,
Call of Duty when they're pumping TV commercials left and right.
I guess my point is that like nowadays, like with Steam and how indie games function, and I'm not even calling them an indie game because actually they have more money than an indie title normally would. Let's call them a AA title. There's just no press about it. Like even PUBG sold, what is it, 4 million copies in 1 week. So like you don't need that necessarily to push a game anymore. So I'm just wondering where the I don't know where the reviews are, or like what's.
Well, yeah, there's no review scores out yet. They're embargoed till tomorrow. So. Tomorrow.
I'd be interested to see how that comes together. But yeah, you're right. As a single player game, I don't tend to pay too much attention to them.
Yeah, I usually ignore those too. But I know plenty of people that only play single player games. They hate online multiplayer. They hate all the kind of shit that we started too old to play for. The racist, homophobic, hateful, hurtful, all that kind of bullshit speech that you get online. And they'd rather just tuck into their own thing and play. But yeah. But either way, like I like Deep Silver, so I hope the game does.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I was just gonna say that I think the big thing with them is that they're actually a pretty decent company, and the guys are all pretty cool, and they actually like to make. I mean, not that a lot of game companies don't like to make games, but there is some lack of passion, obviously, in some AAA titles that you can just feel and get a sense of. But as a company, I like them because they've always sort of been ultra passionate about making the best video game possible on a more limited budget. And like with Saints Row, it's such a great example because that was a game that sold so well because of the passion of that.
It was basically GTA that someone did with passion.
GTA.
They didn't phone it in. Right. Like Rockstar, and they did something, and actually that probably benefited Rockstar in the later
years. I think it did
because Rockstar was like, we can't just phone these things in anymore. We have to step shit up, and we have to put in a quality story and improve gameplay. And GTA 5 now is a perfect example of what Saints Row pushed them into. So
yeah, I think that's true. Yeah, so good on them.
Yep, exactly. All right, the other new release out this week is Sonic Mania, and this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, the Switch, and the PC. Well, the PC is in 2 weeks, but we're not going to cover this again in 2 weeks, so I put it in here today. This is a brand new, old-school, sprite-based, side-scrolling Sonic the Hedgehog game from Sega, obviously. Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails are all back in an homage to the original classic Sonic games. The game features 12 zones, each with 2 acts, and each of those acts has a boss battle. Kind of old school there, too. There's no really review scores out for this yet, but I figure anyone that likes the classic Sonic games this is what you're looking for. Because I remember how much I liked playing Sonic games, and then they switched to like the behind the Sonic view.
They
like
tried to be, well, because if you remember all back in the day, what ended up happening was it not Super Nintendo? No, it was, I can't remember which one. When 3D Mario basically came out, Mario World
yep.
just destroyed the franchise.
That was an N64,
Yeah, N64. Just completely destroyed the franchise. And then in order to try to make up for that, Sega came out with their third, 3D version, which was horrible, killed the series. I mean, almost single-handedly destroyed the Sonic series. And since then, it's been like them trying to play catch-up, and it's really never been.
Sometimes you're just going to go back to your roots. Like, just because something is side-scrolling doesn't mean it can't still be cool. Like, just the sheer number of like indie games out there that have gone back to super old school game styles or twin stick shooters or all these other things. Like, sometimes people want that older thing. And the beauty of this here is you own the actual IP that people liked. Like, no one has to copy your 3D side-scrolling super fast ring picker upper game. You made that and you do it. And this reminds me a lot of like a modern polished up version of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was I remember playing shit out of the game. So
I think the point is now we're in a time in gaming. You couldn't have done this 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe even 5 years ago. But now, because of all these indie titles, it flows really well into this new era of gaming, which is, inherently mobile in a lot of cases, but also a lot of the old things are becoming new things.
Yep.
And I've seen actually a couple of videos on this of people that have played it, and they're saying it's like one of the best, if not the best, Sonic game that's ever come out. And I think the reason for that is in this version of the game, if again, you have to be a Sonic fan, but if you are, it literally is just them taking the first version, second version of Sonic and making it anew, coming up with newer ways to do the things that you love to do and adding on to the thing that made Sonic great in the first place. Which there's like that idea of, slow sort of action jumper, but then all of a sudden hyper fast, obviously because of the role, like this crazy, like, oh my God, I'm going so fast. I want to like get there as quickly as possible. That type of gameplay, the push and pull of that is what made it so successful. And now they're really just doing that again, which is fine because it's been 30 plus years, and
you've taken too long a break doing this other thing, and now it's brand new to some.
It's brand new. It's like on the nostalgia side, if you're a guy that loves Sonic, you're gonna love this game because it's that again. And if you're a kid and you're playing this for the first time, I think you're gonna love it because it's what made Sonic great to begin with. Yep. So yeah, I don't play. I mean, I had a Sega back in the day, but I was always a Nintendo guy. So I'm not really a huge Sonic fan, but I think this is probably the best thing they could do for the IP for right now. Start over, but start at the beginning.
Absolutely agree. Yeah. So, best of luck to them. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? Tiff, what's going on? Are you excited to do the news? You are so out of practice right now.
Hi, guys. Yeah, I'm so out of practice. So we'll just kind of muddle through this and see what happens.
All right. First story.
Destiny 2 PC beta starts August 28th. And this comes from Joystick X and Gadget. We already got a taste of Destiny 2 during the beta test last weekend on consoles. I feel like that was more than last weekend.
Yeah, this news story's been.
We'll pretend
this news story's been in the hopper for a while.
Okay, we'll pretend it was last weekend. But Bungie is finally revealing when PC gamers who didn't make the trip to E3 will have their chance. The beta test will run from August 28th through the 31st, with gamers who've pre-ordered going in first again before doors open to everyone on the 29th. Bungie has also published minimum and recommended specs, as well as a suggestion about hardware available to buy today that would be a worthwhile upgrade. The game officially launches September 6th, and while Bungie didn't reveal any other details or stats about the previous beta, it has posted another ad for people wavering about pre-ordering. This one teases the exotic rifle, known as Cold Heart, that's waiting for everyone who pays early. Otherwise, you can check their blog post for details on how to get your clan ready for Destiny 2 or participate in the last Iron Banner special event scheduled for Destiny 1, which I think we already missed that too, didn't we?
We did, yes. Yes.
All right, so another beta coming, Destiny 2 for the PC. How do you guys feel about this?
I'm going to try it on PC.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's my thing. The original beta for Xbox was pretty shit. I played like an hour of it and was bored to tears instantly. So I'm not sure that they're going to do anything different on PC. However, I will download it for the sole fact that I want to see what the game should have looked like on console, which is 60 frames per second. So like the whole thing for me is the game is neutered because of PlayStation. And every single person that's going to play this game, unfortunately, on console is not going to get the experience that they deserve to get for the money that they're paying.
That the hardware can provide.
Absolutely, 100%. And so I'm downloading it just for the fact that I'm angry. I want to actually confirm my anger and then be like, fuck this game, and then uninstall it. So,
I can't wait to see it at 4K.
Me too. I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, that's the thing is I think it's going to be amazing to see the game sort of how it should have been in the first place. But if you've already played the beta on your Xbox, which I think many of us probably have, then there's really no reason to download the beta. Like the only reason is to play it again and play it again at a higher resolution. That's like the core reason to do it. I was hoping that PC people would get, because my thing is PC already feels like this sort of stepchild since it's not being launched at the same time, which is again solely done on purpose for the benefit of console gamers, but specifically PlayStation.
Sony,
right. So like my thing is they should have shown a little love, even though we have to wait, and given us a little more in the beta, maybe another map or maybe another strike or whatever, something to enhance the beta that a lot of people I think have already probably played.
Yeah, because it's obviously not. It's not like they're cranking out the same build like they did the last time. Like they were like, "This is the build, and let's compile it for Xbox, compile it for PlayStation."
Yeah.
Time has passed. Like they could have something much more robust for a PC. And actually, to be honest, we actually don't know. They might.
I mean, let's be real here. I'm willing to throw down money that it's the same beta. Like I'm willing to put cash on the table.
It's very possible,
and mostly because again, like it's this. I think there's like this fear of like we can't, or maybe even not fear, but contractual.
Maybe fear, exactly.
Which is like that they're not allowed. Right, the worst fear there is, lawyers. It's I don't know. It's just such a shame because it's such a missed opportunity with the PC crowd to sort of bring them into the fold.
It's a brand new audience you can sell to.
Yeah, I mean that's they made a deal with the devil in the sense that, and I'm not even saying because I think Sony is like a bad company. I have a PS4. I enjoy it when a game that requires PS4 is made, but it just seems like you've made a deal that literally makes you create a game that isn't to its full potential by design. To me, that's when you've made a bad deal. Oh, yeah. If you're a game developer and you literally. I think the comment that was made directly from Bungie, I believe from Luke, I can't remember who made it, but I think it was Luke, basically said like, hey, the PS4 has a lot of power and is like the most robust system on the planet, but it can't handle 60 frames a second. Well, it's not the most robust. A computer is like
even the Xbox One X can do it. Yes.
I mean, so don't sit there. Like that's when you know that the marketing speak is like injected into the company now, and it's no longer living in this world of realism. Like you're literally telling me in one sentence, this is the most powerful system that exists today, and then the follow up to that is, but I can't do this thing that I can do on your PC that's 5 years old at this point. I think my graphics card right now is about 3 or 4 years old and will easily do 60 frames. Well, it will do 140 frames per second. And it's like the marketing is injected now into the mold of the company, and you can no longer trust what they're saying because it's a part of their vernacular now.
Especially when it gets to a guy like Luke Smith. Luke Smith's the same guy that was like,
he's the no bullshit guy.
We're going to sell you DLC because we're going to sell it to you because we want money and shit. Like he used to be such a straight shooter, and now he's like, the PlayStation 4 is the best.
It's an amazing game system. If you don't have one, you are living in a world. It's like no one believes you.
Literally been brainwashed at this point. It's fucked up.
It's just that whole thing is it's disappointing to me. And for most people, for most gamers, it's not going to affect them buying or not buying the game.
No.
No one else gets that close to games. I think that like we do, but it's enough to be in my psyche where I like physically don't want to play the game. It has nothing to do with the game itself. It's everything around the game, knowing that I'm getting fucked over in this way, and then being told that I'm not directly to my face. Shit drives me crazy. It's like
I know.
I don't know. Anyway, can't wait to play it.
Nah. We pre-ordered it. I'm gonna play it because I like the first one, but I have to admit my excitement level is kind of near a meh, maybe a meh plus, but we'll see. All right. Next story.
Blizzard sets a minimum salary for Overwatch League players at $50,000, and this comes from Gamasutra. For its Overwatch League, Blizzard set out to establish an esports outfit that offers its players the kind of professional careers afforded to athletic teams. As part of that endeavor, Blizzard has outlined the benefits players can expect as members of one of the Overwatch League's 7 teams and detailed how the player signing process will work. For the first season of Overwatch League play, Blizzard has mandated players earn a minimum salary of $50,000 a year, in addition to being offered team-provided health insurance, practice spaces, player housing during the season, and a retirement savings plan. Those that sign on with the league do so for a guaranteed term of 1 year and have the option to extend the contract for an additional year after that period. For its first season, Blizzard has set a total bonus pool of $3.5 million aside for teams that win events throughout the year, with a minimum of $1 million headed to the overall Season 1 champ. Beyond that, 50% of all team performance bonuses are set to flow directly into the pockets of each team's rosters of between 6 and 12 players. Details on both the benefit offering and the rules for signing new players to a team can be found in full on the Overwatch League's website.
This is awesome. This is so. My original thought when I saw this, I'm like, this is fucking amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. My whole thing with this has always been like, because video games are so fair weather fan types of a medium. I mean, it's not like baseball where it's going to last 100 years, right? Because things change and new games come out. My only thought is like, how does Blizzard keep this going with the lifespan of Overwatch? They're great at expanding and keeping, IPs going for years. They've proven that.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but with an FPS, StarCraft, I mean, right? Like,
no, StarCraft.
But with an FPS, it's a different medium. So it's weird in that sense that they're banking all the esports on this side of things, because I just don't know the longevity of a game like this. I've already seen in my own sort of gaming shell massive amounts of people withdrawing from Overwatch because, like, even as Derek said, like, after a while, it's you're playing one game type over and over again, and once you've reached a really massive competitive level, then there's not much left there to do. And in order for people to want to watch Overwatch, they have to play Overwatch. Like, no one cares about competitive video games if it's not a video game that they're interested in. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to keep the momentum up to make it worth it to get the money, because they need viewers, right? They need the viewers to want to watch it, and they need to have massive viewership. They need to have 200,000 plus watching these things on Twitch like every day. That's what they need. So I think the deal is amazing. This is what we need. We need to start building leagues and getting kids paid so that it is a viable option for them to survive by playing professional video games. But I wonder if this is the game that's going to do it. So I don't know. What do you think about the whole thing?
I don't know. It definitely, at least guys like Robert Kraft, owner of the Patriots, bought into a team. All these other guys seem to think it's going to have some kind of longevity behind it. I think the difference between this league and the normal gaming tournaments we see are that the other ones, 20, 40, 50 teams can play, and the guys that win get the money. Maybe the top 3. Now you're creating a league where it's okay to field a team of 6 to 12 guys because everybody's taking home some money. And a lot of these guys aren't old enough or smart enough to get good jobs and that really pay. So getting $50,000 is it's okay. Maybe it's like a college starting salary when you get out of college nowadays. I don't even know now. But at least it's money, and it makes it worth their time to go out there and play these games and spend the time and the practices and do everything else, because now they have a salary for it.
Well, it's not just the I mean, for me, the biggest benefit of this, the $50K is actually for the age that most of these players are going to be, that's a great amount of money. And that's not even like, that's before you win. But the fact that there's health insurance, there's a practice space, there's player housing during the season, and most importantly, the retirement savings plan. These are things that these young kids really, really need, because just like a sports athlete, if you go and win a tournament and you're 20 years old or 19 years old and you win $2 million, you probably don't have the mindset to know how to manage your money, let alone the fact that most of these gamers, by the time they're 25, no longer have the twitch reflexes to play professional video games anymore. The lifespan of a professional gamer is hyper short. I mean, it's probably just as short, if not shorter, than playing in a professional sport. Maybe going to your late 30s is probably not even as likely, even though it is likely in baseball and some other sports. So for me, that's the biggest thing. If you can get a kid to make $50K a year, maybe pull in, let's say like with sponsorships, 200, 300,000 a year, it's likely what they're going to make. That's a really great deal. But having a place to stay, having health insurance, and having a plan for when they're no longer capable of doing those things, that's what we need. That's what a league should be. I just wish the league wasn't
just Overwatch.
Not even that, but Blizzard. Like it should be.
Yes, yeah.
It should be a sort of anonymous isn't the word, but every gaming company should get together and pool their resources to have like an MLB version that is, everyone has input in terms of what those games are, and have a standard that's set across all gaming. Because this is where things get weird. Is like, unlike baseball, it's not one company doing everything. It's League of Legends has their own league, obviously, and plenty of other gaming companies are going to do the same. So. But at least this could be the boilerplate, and that would be enough, I think, if this becomes the standard. So, yeah.
I agree. It's definitely cool shit.
Cool.
Yep. All right, next story.
Platform fighter Brawlhalla is getting PS4 and PC crossplay, and this comes from GameSpot. As Brawlhalla is coming out of early access, it's entering closed beta on PS4. When the game finally does launch, it would have cross-play functionality between PS4 and PC, so you'll never lose a fighting moment with your friends. While you're waiting to taste the sweet, salty tears of your foes, you can catch the action in the closed beta on August 1st. If you haven't already signed up, you can do so on their website, and invitations are already going out. But if you aren't looking to wait in line, you can hop on immediately with the purchase of the Founders Pack for a measly $20. The Founders Pack includes immediate closed beta access to every character currently available and in the future, an exclusive avatar, nameplate, and the personal Sentry 4 spawn bot. Brawlhalla is a free-to-play online and local fighting game set in the eternal battle arena of Asgard. History's greatest heroes come together to duke it out once and for all. Take a pick between 30 different champs and take on your friends in a 1v1, 2v2, or 4v4 free-for-alls. You can play it now on Steam's Early Access and PS4 later this year. So, what do you guys think about this?
Well, this I have to admit, the reason why I chose to put this story in here for you is because this absolutely contradicts something that Sony said it was a month ago, but it was our last episode. So, right now, Brawlhalla is going to be cross-play between PC and PS4. Meanwhile, Microsoft says, hey, Minecraft's going out on all platforms. They're all going to be able to play with each other. And then Sony says, well, you can't play it on the PlayStation with everybody else because we can't guarantee the sanctity of our ecosystem, allowing people from these other places to come play with us. Well, now they're open up for PC gamers to come in. Yeah, they're a kind bunch. They're not going to be mean. They're not going to be hacking and cheating and swearing and doing whatever. So I feel like that's kind of bullshit. But as far as Brawlhalla goes, I enjoyed the shit out of the game at PAX East this past year. And
I mean, it's Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, it's basically.
Can we stop pretending that's not? Yeah. It's Super Smash Brothers.
It
that's
is.
all they did. It just remade because they were like, wow, that's a really popular game.
And it's
Nintendo's not doing shit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll just remake the game and then release it for as many platforms as possible and get more people to play. Yeah, I mean, as a game, I mean, again, I think it's probably a fun game. I don't know. But it really is just Super Smash Brothers. You shouldn't be looking for anything different other than that, which for a lot of people is a big deal. I think the story, to your point, is the crossplay. And how, again, Sony has told us one thing and done another. And without really giving a shit, right? Like, just like, yeah, it's different. It's different because we said so. It's not the same.
It's different because Microsoft's not involved. Yes.
Don't look here. Not that Microsoft doesn't do shady, stupid shit at all. But the difference is, and this is just because it's Microsoft. And trust me, they would do the same thing if they had to. The difference is just that Microsoft is the PC. So for them, it's super easy to like look like total saints and be like, we're totally cross-platform. Open up because the cross-platform is their platform to their platform.
It's their OS and their platform.
Right.
Yes.
We're allowing you to play on the thing you own that we also own, and
We sold you your operating system for. Yes, yeah.
right. So it's not like it's they're not saints, but it would be nice if everyone could get along and we could start to have cross-platform play, so that I can play the games that I like with people that are on a system that I don't own. But alas, this is just another indicator that that's probably not going to happen.
Sony will cross-platform as long as it's not to a Microsoft console. Maybe a Microsoft operating system on a third-party piece of hardware, but I don't know. And I know it hit saying that it's a way worse Smash Brothers, and it is. It's not Smash Brothers because you don't have all those characters you love, but the gameplay is fun. It's fast. It's frenetic, and if you haven't tried it, Hit, then you definitely need to because it's well worth playing. All right. I guess we'll go on to our last story.
Sounds good.
All right.
This week's What the Fuck story comes to us from Kotaku, and it's a short one, but it's a sweet one. Not really. A man is stabbed 7 times during Magic the Gathering game. 31-year-old Elijah Dale Creech has been arrested by police in Minnesota following a fight over a game of Magic the Gathering in which his 20-year-old opponent was stabbed 7 times in the face and neck. As the local Fox outlet reports, a disagreement that began during the late-night game last Friday quickly escalated and led to Creech hitting the man in the face with a rubber mallet and stabbing him 7 times. The victim was rushed to the hospital with substantial injuries that are not thought to be life-threatening. Creech is now in custody facing charges of first and second degree assault.
I guess he didn't cast a healing spell on himself right away.
Oh, you've been waiting for that. Wow.
I'll see myself out. No, it's a fucked up story, but mostly because it's Magic the Gathering. I think like I could even understand it in the context of Call of Duty, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm so jacked up on G Fuel, and like they freak out and stab someone. But like, this is Magic the Gathering. I didn't know that it could ever get frenetic enough to like stab someone when you're just looking at cards. But
these are the guys that drink tea during their
right, yeah, right there.
Like, let's have some herbal tea and play.
They pretend they have British accents while they play. Like, how does this happen?
I don't know. That's crazy. Like. And it really escalated quickly, too, because it says he started out hitting him in the face with a rubber mallet, it's bad. Don't get me wrong.
Where did the rubber mallet come from? Where are these? Like, why does he have a knife and why does he have a rubber mallet and a Magic Gathering? Like, what is the context here? I feel like we're missing something to this story. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the location they were in just had all this shit like on the walls. Maybe it was a store that sold like knives and replicas, and he was like, mallet. He hits him in the face with a mallet a few times, and it's like, that's not doing enough damage.
I need more DPS. And he I'm sorry, but there's just so many things to say about this that fit. Like, he needed plus 10 damage. He got it, and then he super deeps. He popped heroism and went ham on that dude. Right?
Oh,
boss down.
Yeah, boss down. Yes. Yeah, that's fucked up.
I mean, at least he took a screenshot at the end, right? Him standing over him.
You have to. Like, waiting for the cops. Selfie.
Oh my god! Because we hear all the stories about like the guy that stole the sword, like with I think it was and it's normally in like Korea and stuff, where like a guy, gets a sword stolen, a virtual sword, and goes over to the guy's house and stabs him. That's like a real thing that happened. But to happen like in the middle of a match with other people around, presumably, I don't think it's going on.
It's no 1v1. Hey, right. 1v1 me a Magic, bro.
Right. Which, by the way, is hilarious again in a different context. But yeah, like it's just so weird that would escalate to the point, and that like it would have to have happened really fast. I figure because you'd think the guys would try to like calm him down and stop him. And
why are you hitting him with that mallet in the face?
Like, hey, where'd you get that mallet, bro? And then whoa, you're hitting him with that mallet, bro. And then Jesus Christ, where'd you get that? And holy shit, you're stabbing him. Like all of that had to happen like instantaneously.
People had to just be frozen. Like you just can't even respond at that point. You're just like, what the fuck?
And that's true too, because like you don't think Magic guys are like gonna get up and like be like,
no, they're not. Like, they're not your heroes. They may be your card playing heroes, but they're no actual heroes. No offense to those in the audience that play Magic the Gathering.
No, I get a little bit of offense. Small amount.
Small.
Yeah. Get out there and explain. But other than that, no offense. No, the story's completely fucked up.
Yes.
Completely fucked up. Derek, what do you think about this story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails, aka Altius's Corner. Altius asks, with retro consoles like the NES Classic being immensely popular, we've started to see third parties get involved in doing the same for other companies. At Games, Sega Genesis Flashback just released to horrible reviews. Do you think this is due to a rush to market, or due to the fact that third parties don't have any skin in the game when it comes to brand protection?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I think for sure. So I don't think it was rush to market. And I could be wrong. I think everyone has known that now. Again, we talked about this just because of the previous stories, but like right now we're in a time where doing these games again is lucrative. I think that's been known for a while. So it's not surprising that they're doing it. And I doubt that they saw the success of Nintendo and said like, "Oh, we need to do this." They probably were working
out fast. No,
yeah.
they had to be working on it.
Yeah.
As soon as they heard Nintendo was doing it, they were probably like, "Well, Sega's not going to do it because they're not a company. Let's license it and do it." Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more that like they're just not good at it anymore. Like they're not good at doing those things, and so they don't license to the right partners. They probably don't spend the money that they should to make these things happen. Which is, again, Nintendo's got a shit ton of money. Even when their stock's down, Nintendo's got a ton of money in the coffers. So they have the time, they have the resources, and they have the IP to do the things that I don't think Sega no longer has the affordability to do.
Yeah, no. As soon as Sega licensed this to At Games doesn't, if they sell them, they sell them. And if they don't, and it taints the brand, like Altia said, it's not any skin off their back. Like,
it doesn't affect Out Games will just go and either license a new IP or make a different game. And it doesn't matter to them. I think At Games is also doing like an Atari Lynx one or something else. Yeah. So they obviously don't care who they're licensing and doing. It's just licensing the ones that are not still in business to do their own. But yeah. And it takes a lot of time. I was reading an article that was basically saying like it takes a lot of time, really a lot of time to, and this is why I think you'll see like Nintendo doesn't, here's the big difference here is Nintendo doesn't release old games on iPhone, right? You can't play the original Excite Bike on your iPhone. You can if maybe you have an emulator or something, but not licensed directly from Nintendo. And the reason for that is it's actually hard to get emulation right. So you either have to rewrite the game, which takes a lot of time and money, or you have to do it through emulation, which doesn't always work very well, which we've seen through Atari and we've seen through Sega. We've seen emulation go horribly wrong.
So bad MAME cabinets that just can't do things right.
They can't do things right. I mean, especially on an iPhone. Because let's look at it this way. An iPhone, you need to create a whole new set of controls in order to make your game work correctly, which means not only do you have to have emulation, but then you have to come up with a system that lays on top of that interacts with the emulation layer in order to control it in a way that was never designed or intended to do so. And as much as people don't really like Mario Run and didn't really think it was the greatest game, the game was built from the ground up to support that way of controlling a game. And so at least it succeeds in that way, which none of these games do. So again, I just don't think they have the resources to do this. And I don't think taking old games and just emulating them and throwing them in the iPhone is ever going to work. I think it's a terrible way to release old games. So I think that's the problem. Nintendo isn't releasing old games. They are on their NES thing that you buy for $60, but they have way more control over that system because you're playing it on a controller as it was originally intended to do.
Same thing with the upcoming SNES Classic. Right. And similarly, they didn't rush that thing out the door. They're where everybody's waiting on that.
They announced sweet-ass time.
They could have instantly said, like, holy shit, that thing was super popular. Let's crank out another one. But they took their time. We still can't even pre-order it. And they've announced it like 5 months ago. So I don't know. It's I think if you're a company,
Sega's playing checkers and Nintendo's is playing chess when it comes to this.
Yeah, because they didn't do it themselves because they don't really exist anymore except as for a software company.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good question.
Yep. All right, good stuff, Altius. And if any of you have awesome questions like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolsplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tools Play homepage. And sponsors. These guys suck. It's Think Geek, toolsplay.com/geek, Craft Beer Club, toolsplay.com/beer. They don't pay us, so we're not going to say shit about them. And if you want to sponsor us for real, give us money and we'll talk about your shit like we love it. Give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us podcast@toolplay.com. You tell us what you want to sell. We'll tell us you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, got of everything that's fucking holy at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
You can find me at twitter.com/DudeIRock.
Twitter.com/electrify.
Twitter.com/Isaac
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
Facebook.com/Tiff Nolan.
Facebook.com/Isaac
We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tool to Play. That is the place to find all of Tool to Play's archive video content, whether it's episodes of this show, whether it's live game streams, whether it's quick hits that's coming back soon, whether it's Thick and Thin with LB and Duty and Hitman, whether it's immature interviews with Tiff, whatever it is, they're all coming back. They're all going to be shows again. All of our archive content is there, so just go there and subscribe, and you will be notified whenever we post something, and you can watch it in its archived format. Also, please rate and view the podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews, and we need to, if you have more than the second it took you to click the 5-star button, just write a little something nice. Love the show, awesome, good job, sick, whatever. Just do it up, let us know, and we would be really happy for you to do that. Also, that Twitch channel, some days, not today, but some days, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. That's where Tool to Play does all of our live video content. So go there and definitely hit the follow button. You'll be notified whenever we go live, and you will be notified whether we're playing games, whether we're doing shows like Still Got Game, whatever it is, you'll be notified of it. But there's also a subscribe button there, and that's how you help us out. So go there, click the subscribe button. Costs you almost nothing. $5 a month. Boom. You're in. You're helping us out directly. Screw the sponsors. That's direct support for the show. And if you're too cheap for that, but you already have Amazon Prime, you can go there and once a month you can subscribe to us absolutely free and give us your $5. And it costs you nothing. Amazon's paying that money back to us, and it helps us out. Costs you nothing. It's win for everybody. So, once again, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. Go there and subscribe, please. It is the way to help us out directly, and we would really appreciate it. And I guess before we wrap up, I remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/Tool to Play. And on that, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I'm Joel Dude-I-Rock Albert.
I'm Tiffany Electrify Nolan.
I'm Roger Hitman Roken.
Thanks for fucking us tonight, Twitch.